Hi, fancy that walk and chat? So I don't know about you, but I feel like Jekyll and Hyde during my menstrual cycle. 1 minute I'm on cloud nine, next I could fall asleep standing up. And everyone and everything triggers me. But I came across something that I've been working with, and it's made such a difference. I wish that I'd come across it as a teenager, but I'm glad I have come across it now, going into perimenopause. And it's something I'd like to share with you here today. I still get those Jekyll and Hyde moments. They still happen. But I understand a lot more why, and that is what has made the difference. Not just to me, but to those close to me, my friends, my family. So I started my period, I was 10. And back in the days, like in the 90s, early 90s, and we didn't get a lot of information about it. I mean, I speak for myself. I could speak to my mum, and she told me the bare facts that I needed to know. It was more about the what to do, not the why. So it was a case of you bleed 5 to 7 days, every 28 days, and these are the sanitary products you're going to use. That's it. That's as much as I got. What did you get? Was that what you got told? No real why. No real why does it happen. No real understanding about it. So I want to share some of this knowledge with you in the hope that it empowers you like it did me, like it is doing me. And I have 2 girls, and one is 9, and she's about to be the age that I was. So I'm about to really embark on this journey with my eldest daughter. And even if you don't have daughters, even if you have sons, I think it's very important to let them know what you're going through and what their potential partners in the future will be going through. So as they're learning their way around puberty, to learn the female way as well. And I think that's what's empowering for the whole family. So this image I'm going to put up, let me bring it up on my phone. This image I'm going to put up, I'm not going to talk through it massively. I'm not going to take credit for it. It was something I watched some time ago now. It was an interview from the Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett, interviewing Dr. Mindy Peltz. Now, she's all about the female, the hormones, and she goes into fasting, and she fasts with the hormones. So once you get this under your belt and you really understand your hormones and how they work and your cycle, I strongly urge you to also dig into the fasting side of things, because that's quite amazing too. So this picture I'll put up now is, it goes through the weeks and the 4 weeks and the cycle. So it tells you more about the estrogen. So estrogen is the main one that makes us have those mood swings. And you can see there in the first 10 days that estrogen is building, and it peaks at day 13. And then ovulation starts. And then in week 3, we get progesterone coming in. And obviously this is where estrogen's going down. And in week 4, it's recommended to rest and reduce your workload. So when I saw this, I was really amazed. I mean, you can see there, the first 2 weeks, you're more extroverted because of this build-up of estrogen coming in. And in the last 2 weeks, you're more introverted. Now, if all you take away is that, and you work your life around that, then that's fab. I think that will make such a difference. So how I use it is, you know how we put in our due date in the calendar? I've started putting in my crash date. So when you get a bit more mindful about this, about your cycle, how you're feeling week to week, you'll start realising where that hump is, where, you know, you've peaked and now you're down the other side. And then I sort of realise where the actual crash is, that moment where you know, I am really fatigued and I am more snappy and less tolerant of others. And that's my crash date. Now for me, it comes at day 24, 26. So I mark that on the calendar. So I mark my crash date and my due date. And I would strongly suggest that you give that one a try. That's how it works for me. How it works, putting this into the family life, is to communicate that. Communicate to the husband, to the dad, to the brothers. Let them know where you and your daughters lie in your cycle. Have that conversation. Does it have to be, does it have to be TMI? Does it have to be too much information? Really? It's a thing. It's a marvelous thing, you know. I think we need to embrace our cycles and embrace womanhood ourselves, and to teach our daughters this. Without it, we can't create human beings. It's just marvelous. And so to get back that knowledge brings power, not hindrance. It's not a hindrance. And I'd love for the whole family to embrace it like that. Instead of rolling our eyes, oh, she's on a period again, oh, there she goes again, you know, have the family understand what's going on. Understand that the estrogen plummets. It drops off a cliff. It's totally different to the men's cycle. The men's on a 24-hour cycle. We're on a 28-day cycle. It's completely different. Inform them. Let them know what's going on, how it works. And then they can give some compassion. Not empathy, because they're not in our shoes, but they can have some compassion around it. And we can have that with our daughters. I mean, my experience growing up with my mum, I could talk to her about stuff, but I wouldn't talk to her about the ins and outs of it. And we'd just clash. And God help me brother and me dad. We just clashed every month or twice a month if we weren't on the same, because you tend to sync up, don't you, with the women around you. But yeah, those days were just hard work for everybody. And I think if, as a family, we can have more compassion with each other and communication to say what it is you need. It's like how I say about grief, communicate what you need. Communicate what you need in the month, you know. So how it looks for us is I tell my hubby my crash date, and I'll say, this is my crash date. And basically what I'm saying is, I'm asking you to step up a little bit. I'm just asking you to step up a little bit with the kids, with the house. What does that look like? For us, it might be he does the tea, for that week, you know, he does the tea, he puts the kids to bed, or more often in that week. It looks like I go to bed earlier. It looks like I rest as much as I can. And I think if you're in a position, a lot more of us now are working self-employed or a bit more freedom. We work more remotely, and we can work this around our work life. And even if we are in a job, when it comes to meetings and things like that, if you have got flexibility, maybe try not to put the big heavy stuff in that fourth week, you know, but week 2, that's where you need to put that stuff. That's where you're on cloud 9. That's when you're empowered. That's when you can rule the world, you know. And I think once we get a hang of that, it can make our lives and those around us so much more warming, compassionate, happy, easy, flowing, all the feminine energies that we're embracing for being a woman. I just wonder what the next generation of families might look like if they embrace this information. For the woman to be self-empowered, to really know herself and her cycle and how to tailor life around it as best you can. And for the woman to then communicate that to her family, and for the family to take that on board. I mentioned it before in my videos, just like the red tents. We had the red tents, we had that compassion for our women back in the day, and I'm a massive advocate to bring that back. But it's really been helpful to me. I'd love to know your reflections on this. Let's reflect together. Thanks for watching. Much love. Bye for now.